Okay, so Stormy has decided to release another song off this album that will be released on November 24th, which doesn't seem that far away, but it will be released on November 24th, and it's called What I Mean, and we know Thames has an influence in here. We also know Debbie George Moore has an influence on the song, and I was surprised to see him in his credits for this song that he says that he establishes that they're great at what they do, and he had them through the impact of the song, which I think in this song, I think you can hear Stormy's verses, but also where he collaborated with a lot of songwriters, which is not common in the States or the United States as much, but in the UK it's widely accepted more. So before I talk about the actual title of the song, I'm gonna talk kind of some background information. Because I realized that I've talked about Stormzy on this channel before, on this podcast before, but I don't think, if you're very new and just finding this podcast, you might not know who Stormy is. Stormzy is a UK artist that, for the lack of better words, has been great in the UK grime scene locally. He's been in the underground scene. He's been great at what he does. He stood out. He stood out and became popular. He didn't become popular into the States until Watch Dog Legions came out, and the opening scene in the States is where they're playing Rainfall, when they show the view of the Elizabeth Tower and one of the three bridges. I'm not sure what bridge that is, but that's where he has gotten his fame worldwide from. Now it's not as popular as it was when Watch All Legion just came out worldwide, but he's locally loved in the UK, and there's some people in the States that do love Stormzy. They say that it's kind of, he does UK grime, which Stormy does not do, and this is another lead-up single for his album, which is called What I Mean. But this song has more of an American R&B touch to it, which I think I do like from Stormzy, because he is trying to relate to a lot more people through emotions, which I think he does perfectly in a song. But the song is called FireBabe, and we'll get right into it, but there are just, a few disclaimers that I'm going to get out the way at the start of the episode, and we'll get right into it.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
For some context, that I think it is well deserved. I understand that the word babe has different meanings to a lot of different people. Now sociology wise and culture wise, people have changed the word to mean a loved one or endear, but that's not what the word originally was used for. However, when Stormzy does this song, it's not necessarily, you don't really notice it because of the way that Stormy puts the song together, which I think, without a doubt, is probably, if this is what the album is gonna be, there's no way I won't like his album. There's not a chance that I don't like this album. But I don't normally hate any of his albums. I think if you were to ask me, with these two leading singles that we have the track list, but the two leading singles is Firebird. It's Firebird and Hide and Seek, right? Which are the two leading singles for this album. This is What I Mean, which to an extent I think I do love it that way. Debbie opens, Miss Debbie opens up, not the cookie for the Americans, but Miss Debbie, opens up the song with amazing vocals that she just claims is stealing all their hearts, like that repeated chorus that we're probably used to hearing on a song, which Stormy, changes up the choruses a little bit, especially in every verse that he does is different. His pre-choruses I do endear, like the pre-chorus where he goes, my miracle, my happy place, my heart and my soul, and forever yours, which is just him saying that he endears that person that he is in a relationship with. And I think to some extent, that's the best way to show expression. That's why I say that it has like an American R&B sound to it, because the context is, now I'm not saying we don't, like, there aren't artists like LMA, which she's London based, but her sound, people associate with American, they don't associate with British. So to us, and I know people are gonna say, well, British isn't the only UK isn't the only territory in the UK, and that might seem disrespectful, which to some extent I am aware. I think I've done it before. It's Wells. Is it? I forget which island it is. But I think over time we've heard this sound from him that is very hard to explain. So we're gonna get into this and see where we get, and I'm gonna get right into the song now. So Debbie opens it up with "I'm Selling Your Heart." Stormy starts to rush off with her standing in her dress. She looks like an angel. Her eyes took away my breath, and I knew she was mine until the end. Which, to some extent, we could genuinely say that he's admiring his partner. Which I think this whole song is him admiring his partner in a way that he can explain. Like he's explaining the way that he feels about a person without any context, without it trying to make sense, but it makes sense overall. It's just saying that his partner, the person that they're interested in, and they're just trying to express how their emotions and how they feel, which to some extent isn't a bad thing. I think more emotions is always good, and keeping it real. And I think this is why that title is "This Is What I Mean." But it does play on your understanding of what these songs do and what they're gonna mean. Which I don't think, and he says in the later, because I just can't explain, even in the way you love me with your flame, and then he says, you touch me with your name, and I'll be there with your flame, which is, when he says flame, I'm thinking, love, right? Like passionate love that a person shares through a relationship. And I think when he says your name, I think that means marriage, or it could be just sharing a last name or a nickname. It's, you keep burning bright, you keep shining, you're a diamond, that you take up the room that you're in, which is a weird thing. It's just like he just cannot explain it, right? Like, so that to some extent I do like that kind of, she make everyone laugh, and then she start dancing on the table, and she can't stop stealing people's hearts because she's full of personality. She's full of humor. She's just a very much person that you just want to. He says she lights up a room, something to behold, like something to admire, or just something to love about that person, is because they light up every room they're in. No matter who's in that room, it's always love, and it's always a driven passion behind it, which to some extent I think that is an amazing way to feel about somebody that you're in a relationship with, a marriage with. Overall, I just think that's the best way to handle certain situations. So him saying that in the song, which roughly is not that long of a song, I think this song is 3 minutes. and it just has so much passion behind it. So overall, I'm gonna rate this an 8 out of 10 because I like the passion behind it, I like the style behind it, but I also like the idea of he's trying to break into a new market with this album. And to some extent, these two lead singles, if they are what I think they are for this album, they're gonna be this album is gonna end up being an anthem. And I can't wait for that to happen if this is truly what I think it is. So I can't wait to hear the rest of the song Clooney's album, which is a week away. So I can't wait for that to be released, and I'm gonna do a whole review on that. I have 3 or 4 reviews I have to do with that too, but I think overall 8 out of 10 is not a bad song, especially for a lead up for an album that everyone is waiting for. I can't wait to hear the album.